Hello, and welcome to another podcast of Thoughts and Players. It is another bonus level we have, and today with me, I have the two regulars. Say hello, guys.
Hello.
Hello.
Alrighty. Today we are talking about the new news of the Xbox. And we have a Series X and the Series S. So, with that, we have the price of the Series S, which is the smaller one, is $299, and the Series X is $499. The differences are in the power of these consoles. And let's start off with the S. What do you guys feel about it?
At first, when I first heard the announcement, I thought, oh, this is great. This is fantastic. Xbox may be onto something here. Bringing it in at the price point they're bringing it in for people that want an affordable next-gen experience. That is until I actually really got to look at the specs. And then I just became confused. And I'm not sure if I'm the only one that became kind of confused by the Series S when you examine the power and everything behind it. It has the same CPU as the Series X, but the GPU is different, and it's outputting 4 teraflops of GPU power compared to the 12.15, I believe, of the Series X. If you compare it to the Xbox One X, that puts out 6 teraflops. And I know there's a difference because the new one has GDDR6 compared to GDDR5. So it's a little bit faster, but it still has less overall bandwidth. So I'm a bit confused. And if you look up some stuff, the Series S is aimed more at quad HD gaming, where the Series X is more for 4K gaming. But then you have your previous gen game system with the One X that's technically also for 4K gaming. So I started out like, this is good. And then as I thought about it more, I became confused. So I'm still trying to figure out how I feel about this whole thing. But that was kind of my, I guess, after thinking about it, my initial thoughts on it. What about you, Cory?
For everything I'm reading, you seem like you know a ton about it already, but it seemed like the main difference was the resolution, right?
Yeah.
1440p for the S, obviously 4K for the X. I'm cool with the price. 300 is extremely low in this day and age.
Yeah.
Like, very affordable for families. It's at the same price as the Switch model. So if you're looking for a next gen console, it's going to be able to play all those games at that price point. I think it's a hit. I don't know. A lot of the things you just said are a little bit scary now, but like it has more power than last gen, right? Or no, am I mistaken? Like it's more powerful than the Xbox One X, correct?
That's what I'm confused by.
I mean, how big are teraflops in terms of what you're doing with gaming?
It's just overall GPU computing power, but I'm confused because the One X, now I know that they say the One S has a 4K hardware scaler, so it'll be able to scale games up to 4K.
Yeah. Yep, upscaling.
But I don't know. I have absolutely no idea. I know that the CPU in it is definitely better than what's in the One X. And again, it's running that new GDDR6 compared to GDDR5. So it's a little bit faster than the GPU, but overall power seems to be not there. So yeah, I'm a little bit confused. The One X is supposed to natively play 4K, right?
Right. Yep. 4K 60 frames a second is what the goal is.
Yeah.
And the One S is 1440p at 60 frames a second up to 120 frames.
Right. And then for 4K upscaling, so it doesn't play 4K natively.
Right. But looking at them side by side, they're pretty comparable, right? Like that GPU was like the main outlier.
Mm-hmm. And then also, if you do taking it into account, it is $200 cheaper than the One X, right?
Right. Yeah. I mean, it's cheaper than the One X. Yeah, like you were saying.
Yeah.
Because that's what, 500 right now? I'm talking about previous gen.
Yeah.
Which I think they just discontinued anyways.
Yeah, either discontinued it or
making it.
Yeah.
Okay. It does have a few other small changes. The hard drive's only about half as large
Mm-hmm.
like a 512 gigabyte hard drive, and then
Yep.
it's digital only.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Which, yeah, is that something that automatically is kind of like a red flag for you, David?
Yep. This smaller system in general is just a red flag. I absolutely hate it because, as we mentioned in one of our earlier levels, we were talking about the new Xbox being pushing the limits on what a console can do because it's Xbox, which it stands for extreme, right? So why are we getting this smaller console when it's not even as good as last gen, as you guys were saying, the Xbox One X or whatever can do 4K. Why can't this do 4K at least as a minimum? The physical media, now people that like to play the games and have the games have to get the big one anyways. And then the internal storage is fine. If people want to make different sized internal storage, that's fine. That's not going to affect how I feel about it. But then the memory bandwidth is worse. The RAM is smaller. Like we said, you guys said before, the GPU isn't the same. Like, why are they making it's crap.
I mean, I still think, it is stronger than the One X. I do think. Like I said, Jeremy came out with stats, but
I think it, but I'm confused. That's what I'm saying. But also, but here's the thing to keep in mind. Another thing too is the One X still works off a mechanical drive. The One S has the NVMe SSDs in it, right? So it's essentially as fast as the hard drive in the Series X. It's just half as much, space or capacity on it.
Okay.
But I think they're trying to find. I think they were able to identify a consumer for this is someone that wants a somewhat next gen experience that's very affordable. Like, think about it this way. This is a quad HD 2560 by 1440p. That's what it's aimed at, right? Or really high frame rates for HD. My question would be, like, we play PC gaming, right?
Mm-hmm.
What would it cost for you to build a rig that could give you 1440p 60 for a CPU?
It would have to be more than 300, right?
It's more than
I'm not
$300.
a PC guy, so
it's more than 300. And that's where I think it's really kind of where they've kind of identified this market as stuff like playing online has gotten bigger, video game content creation as a whole has gotten bigger, streaming has gotten bigger. To be able to kind of get that type of performance for $300, like earlier this year, I bought a GTX 1660 Super. That was like $230, and that was just the GPU.
Okay.
So if we're talking about, it's still an 8-core running at, I think it's like 3.6 gigahertz, AMD Zen 2 processor in it. It's got 4 teraflops of this GPU computing power in it. It's got a 512 SSD, which if you go out and buy one of those, that's going to run you $40 or $50. It's got all these other things in it. Doesn't have the disk drive, but it has all that, and it's $300. Like, if I'm looking at it from a value proposition, that's probably the best deal for a new console I've seen in a long time. From a price,
I don't really want to bring Sony into this yet, but when you look at it, Xbox is going to be able to say, hey, we have the strongest console available with the Series X. They will. It's already, all the things are already known about both systems. It's the strongest.
Yeah.
And we don't know the price yet of the PS5, but they're also going to be able to say, we also have the most affordable system.
Exactly.
So they're hitting both parts of that next gen.
Mm-hmm.
So people that just want the raw power, hey, I'm going to buy the Series X. The people that just want to get into next gen by any means, get the Series X.
Yeah.
They're good both ways.
Yeah.
I think I'm not going to get the Series S, but I understand why it might be extremely popular with families or anyone just trying to get those next gen games.
Right. Yeah, more so for, I would say the only thing that kind of takes it out for, I guess it really depends how a family games or how a family plans to use it, because it doesn't have that disk drive. So if you were going to use it for just playing media, it doesn't really work as like a family media player from that instance, but it can obviously stream anything. And if the family, plays games every once in a while and has a digital stuff and they're cool with that, then I can see it being, this is a nice price point to get into next gen. Like I said, a lot of families and people don't have 4K TVs. That's still
Yeah.
not the most people have HD TVs. So if you have an
Right.
HD TV you're still gaming on, this is going to more than be able to support the 60 frames, the 60 hertz, 120 hertz. It's going to give you good performance that way.
And like, all right, so the thing is, maybe I'm dumb right here. I really don't know all the specs you're talking about too much, but even like the PS4 Pro, that just upscales 4K, right? Like that's not true 4K.
That I don't know for sure.
I don't think it's true 4K. So even I do have a 4K TV. I'm not even getting true 4K.
Mm-hmm.
So if I were to get the Series S, I'm not really losing anything. You know, like I'm missing out on 4K because it's
Right.
going to upscale to that.
Right.
Which obviously I'm sure it won't look as good, but you know, for someone like me, if that was the console I was going to get, I don't think I would be missing anything.
But then think about it too. Instead of if the PS4 Pro does upscale, you're getting 1080p upscaled to 4K. With the Series S, you'd be getting Quad HD upscaled to 4K. So you're already
Okay.
starting at a base that has more resolution and more detail.
Right, right.
So,
Not
Right.
to mention the frames are going to be a lot better. A lot of those PlayStation games, if I want the upscaling to 4K, I got to make sure it's 30 frames a second. This
Yeah.
sounds like the baseline is going to be 60, all the way up to 120, which is, I don't know about you guys, but I always prefer frames per second over resolution.
yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah, it helps. I like it.
What do you
Yeah.
what do you guys think about the look of this thing? So we can take it down and get a little less serious about it.
Well, the size isn't available, but it says it's 60% smaller.
Yeah,
So, I mean-
it's the smallest Xbox console ever, they said.
Then that's cool if you're running out of space for all the systems all these gaming nerds have. But
Right, which I am. That's fantastic. Yeah.
yeah,
Right.
you have no more room on your little shelf. You have all the systems on.
Correct. Yeah.
But I mean, the Series X, it says it's 151 by 151 by 301, all that in millimeters. So that is kind of chunky.
Yeah.
We've already seen the X. We already know how that.
Yeah,
looks.
I mean,
What do you
we've
think-
seen it.
What do you think about the actual design of the S,
And it
though? Do you like
looks
it? Is it?
huge? But I mean, it looks all right.
Jeremy,
I mean,
you
it's-
like it?
Looks like a speaker, right? You have I saw a graphic where the mini fridge is. We have
Fridge.
the mini fridge with the Series X. We have the router with the
Yeah.
PS5, and we
Yep.
have the speaker with the Series S, right?
We kind of have
Yeah.
a bachelor pad going on with all three of those.
Yeah.
I
yeah.
like it.
Yeah, I don't. To me, honestly, the Series S looks like the 1S with the white grill on top taken off.
Yeah,
That's
pretty much.
That's what it looks like.
Pretty much,
Yeah.
but smaller, which
Mhm.
will be kind of nice. So I'm sure you guys both read this, but the what's it called? All access or
Yes.
my notes?
All access,
okay,
all access Xbox.
What do you guys think about that?
I think
What
it's
is the
a
all
good deal.
access?
All right, so all access is so you can do a 24-month plan through, I guess, Xbox, and pay $35 a month for 2 years to get the Series X. And for the Series S, you can do, I think it's $25 a month
Right.
to get the Series S. And in that plan, it includes Game Pass Ultimate.
Mm-hmm.
So Game Pass Ultimate is usually a $15 expense because you get Game Pass and you get Xbox Live Gold.
Right.
Okay.
So over 2 years, you're getting Xbox Live Gold and Game Pass, and you're paying off your console. I did the math on it. I'm taking out the Game Pass and Gold, so that's really like you're paying $20 a month for the Series X. It comes out to be $480 over 2 years, which is actually a discount. Now, obviously, the system will probably go on sale at some point, so you could get it later. But I honestly think all access is probably the way to go.
Right.
Am I crazy or?
If you're someone that needs to get into it, you want to get into next gen, and it's a good value proposition. I myself am partial to just
Paying it
laying,
off?
just paying it off right up front and being done with it. But
Right.
you know,
Myself as
it's-
well.
it's not a bad deal. You're getting a good console. It looks like you're getting that Xbox Game Pass, which we've said before. I've said before that I think it's a bit overrated, but I don't argue that it's probably another one of the best value deals in gaming.
Right.
So you're getting that all packaged together for a nice little tight $25, $35 a month.
And the thing is, if you're already part of the Xbox ecosystem, you're probably getting those things anyways.
Yeah, you're probably already paying for Ultimate
$15,
yeah, something like that.
So this is just a way to get your console for $35 a month, and which is not an insignificant amount of money, but man, $35 a month, that beats paying $500 right away.
Right.
Yeah.
Like I only buy the gold, so I'm already buying gold, and then I don't really get the Game Pass thing. But if I'm gonna get that and only have to pay $35 a month for this system, I mean that's a super good deal. Like I might just deal with the 35 a month instead of dropping the whole price on it.
Right.
Yeah.
And they also just announced, I think it was today, that EA Play is now part of Xbox Pass Ultimate.
Yep.
So, Jeremy, you want to kind of tell everyone what EA Play is real quick? I don't.
Yeah. So EA Play is Electronic Arts' terrible subscription to all their games. so all the horrible Maddens and FIFAs and really, really terrible games like Anthem and stuff like that are all on there. I don't know if Fallen Order is on there. I got to double check and make sure to see if it's on there or not. It seems like it should be, but they might be holding that off because they accidentally made a good game. But that's combined in. So that's usually a $5 a month or $30 a year expense. It's not part of your Ultimate. So
which is cool. It's just adding value to it.
Adding value. It's more games.
Technically, I guess.
Technically, yeah.
If it's
some of the games are taking away value, but yeah.
I mean, we have to remember. So it's their vault. So that's what you have access to. So you also have access to games like Unravel. You have access to the Battlefield series. You have access to the Mass Effect series.
And you had just played Madden that way, right? Like you didn't buy Madden. You were able to do a 10-hour
trial through
play as much as Madden as you want for 10 hours. Do any of the modes. Nothing was held back.
Right.
Which is pretty cool.
Yeah.
Like I said, I don't think I love EA Play. I don't know if you love EA Play. I don't think anyone does. But as a bonus thing inside of it, it's like, that's just added value. So
right.
And it's a deal for EA because it immediately expands their subscriber base that they can siphon microtransactions from.
Yeah.
Dang microtransactions.
All right, so let's see what other points do we have here. Yeah, that's about all. Does anyone have any some other stuff?
I think finally having these prices out is a good thing because we know that the PlayStation 5 can't be more than $500.
Absolutely. It cannot be more. It can't.
Do you think it'll be the same?
Yes. I think PlayStation would have loved if it was 600. So they could have put theirs at 600 because they have the brand, but they don't have the power. So you just can't throw a console on there for more than your competitor. It really, honestly, usually never works in generations.
Yeah.
So
I mean, isn't that what Microsoft did last gen? And they
lost.
Right.
The Xbox One or the 360?
Xbox One. I know they didn't sell more, but I mean, if they still sold a lot, what does it matter?
I don't think they sold well at all.
You don't think so? Okay.
They stopped telling you what they sold because it was that bad. I think the estimates are around 40 million, 40 or 50 million.
Not too good.
Which PlayStation 4 already has 112 million sold. The Switch, which came out a couple years later, already has over 60 million. So, Xbox.
Okay, just
did not sell well. Yeah.
And remember, gamers have amnesia in that way because you could argue, Corey, you made the argument before that the 360 won its gen against the PlayStation 3.
Yeah.
PlayStation 3 did everything bad at launch, and it helped the 360 win. And then Xbox One, PlayStation 4 happened, and then everyone who loved 360 just forgot and went and got a PlayStation 4 because of the way they brought out the system and how they were competitive with the price. It's the same thing here. We love PlayStation games, but if you come out with this bad boy at $550, $600, they're going to say, "I forget. I'm going to get an Xbox."
Right. And they should, because to be honest, I bet the majority of people play third-party games. Probably 90% of gamers buy a console for third-party games. So if you can get the cheaper price, and like we said, Xbox Series X is going to be more powerful.
Yeah.
Right.
you're going to want to buy the Xbox. Now, if they're the same price, you have something to think about. Okay, how big are the PlayStation exclusives for me to want to get it? I don't know. Have you guys made up your mind? Are you is this something you are going to get at launch? I know we've all kind of gone back and forth about it. You know, we didn't know the price beforehand, but we've heard the news,
Right.
Halo delayed, Xbox just making dumb decisions. It felt like we know the price, we know the release date, November 10th. What's happening here?
I don't think I'm gonna get it at launch, but I do know if I ever get one, I'm going to get the Series X.
Okay, the more powerful
Because,
one.
yeah, because I mean it's only $200 more, and then whenever I get it, it might be on sale, and I just rather be safe than sorry. Like I get the Series X. You guys kind of convinced me it is good for a family thing, but I'm gonna be playing the games that are probably gonna be more heavy on the console, so I just want to have the better console for it.
Yeah, fair, man, fair. For me personally, I haven't crossed this with my wife yet, so maybe I won't. But I think I'm going to do the all access, $35 a month. You know, that small amount, it feels like I can cancel Netflix, and there's half of it right there. You know, pay that for 2 years, we don't forget it. Don't have to worry about Gold or Game Pass. I think that's the way I'm going. Now I'm still going to get a PlayStation unless they reveal some crazy numbers. But yeah, I think I'll get an Xbox at launch. And because it's a more powerful console, I think that's where I'm going to buy my third-party games. You know,
right. It's just a smarter idea.
Watch Dogs Legion. I think I'll play on the Series X and stuff like that. If it's not multiplayer, I think I'm going to get on the Xbox.
Yeah. I hate this. I hate this question. Because I have been the one most back and forth.
You have.
You have.
You were all in. You were all out.
Right? I was all in. And then I was like last time I was most definitely out. Right?
For sure. And you should have been.
Exactly. Which is why I'm probably going to get a Series X at launch. Because like you said, the all access thing, I would be paying for this stuff anyway.
Right.
Right.
At least when it comes to the Xbox Live Gold stuff and you figure in, Game Pass and all of that. Like you said, $35 a month. It's not absolute chump change, but it's not going to kill you as far as,
Yeah.
I mean, for me, that's like, all right, I can drop my my Dropbox plan a bit and I'm good to go,
Mm-hmm.
Like as far as that goes, and we know it comes out November 10th. We have a firm date. So
right, which is great.
Yeah.
That's good for consumers. Like now we know what to do.
I'm going to have to switch some of the games that I ordered around to Xbox so that way I can play them on the Series X because of course there won't be any games for it. But
right.
It's like I just like I had on the thing. I just ordered Kingdoms of Amalur: Re-Reckoning. I had it for Xbox One, changed it to PlayStation because I'm like I'll be playing on PlayStation. Now I'm gonna have to change it over to Xbox again.
Right.
Because I'm certain that based on everything that's going on, PlayStation's dropping the PlayStation 5 later. They can't be dropping it in November.
Right.
I think it's gonna be like right before Christmas.
Yeah.
It has to be before Christmas. They're gonna miss out on a lot if it's not.
So but yeah. I mean I slightly considered the 1S too. Because, Cory, we talked about before about the digital version. If it's cheaper, then it's cool. But with the 1S,
$200, that's a lot. That's a big discount.
Yeah. But with the 1S,
I'll tell you this: if I were to buy them full out, I would probably just get the Series S. But because of this all access, hey, I'm going to get the more expensive one because it's not a big deal.
Yeah.
But yeah, the 1S or the Series S seems like a great deal.
But the main thing though is the difference is there's such a massive power gap in the GPU department to go from 12 teraflops to 4 teraflops. That's
right.
Such a drastic jump. If it was something like 8 or 9, or they were able to retain some more GPU power, then maybe going for that digital version, I would maybe entertain it a bit more. But because I plan on mostly playing things on my PlayStation 5, but I would still have a digital version where I could play some Xbox games, have access to the Xbox Game Pass stuff and all of that. But the fact that it's such a drastic drop, it's like I have to go with the Series X because
Right.
I want to I'm just going to pay for the premium experience,
Right.
And again,
Exactly.
if you tried to build a PC rig, like ITX PC rig with these same kind of specs, you're probably spending more than 5. So,
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's fair.
yeah.
I mean, yeah, but I mean that's where consoles, come in handy is you can play all the new games for cheaper because computers, at least a decent computer, is going to cost $1,000.
Yeah. Yeah, but I mean that valuation or that kind of assessment of price over power from console to PC hasn't been a discussion for the past 7-8 years because the consoles came out underpowered.
Mm-hmm.
So PC has made these massive strides in gaming as far as power and resolution and all that stuff, and the consoles just haven't been able to keep up. They've been trying to squeeze as much life out of that rock as they possibly can. Now they've understood that people are willing to pay for more premium gaming experience. So now they're in a position now to be more competitive with what they offer. But I mean, again, Series 1S is coming out, what was it? $150 cheaper than the Xbox One did.
Mm-hmm.
Which is nuts.
It's crazy.
Which is nuts.
Yeah.
Next gen and way cheaper.
Yeah. It's good stuff, man.
Yeah. Anything else to add, guys?
I really hope they don't screw this up.
I hope the same.
How could they screw it up at this point, Jeremy?
More game delays, reducing or not mentioning certain features or limitations in their material. They're saying that you can start to pre-order it September 22nd, so like a week and a half from now, and then it comes out November 10th, so like a month from now.
Right.
It better not be doing no bait and switches.
Right.
You got 30 days to make sure this thing is on lock and available.
Right.
So like, keep it. They got to tighten up. They better have it right.
Hey, well said, man.
Do you guys like the controllers? They don't look much different from the Xbox One.
Yeah, they're not. Because you can use your Xbox One controllers with the new console, which is cool. So
the only thing they changed was adding a share button in the middle, right?
Right. Yeah. So.
Yeah, I'm cool with it because I'll be able to go in there and design lab and design my little wacky controller and have it.
Thoughts and Players official controller.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yes.
All right, so I just got one last comment question for you guys.
Yeah.
David, pretend like you're buying it day one. What's the first game you're playing? What game are you so pumped for to play next gen? What are you doing?
If it's out, Resident Evil 8.
It's not.
Well, then screw this. I don't know. Seeing everything coming out, maybe actually Cyberpunk. Like I wasn't even thrilled for it, but seeing everything that's coming out for it and stuff, it's caught my interest a little bit. So if Resident Evil 8 isn't out, that'd probably be my go-to.
Okay.
Yeah. It'd be a toss-up for me between Cyberpunk 2077 or the Mafia 1 remake. I might wait.
That's a thing. That's the thing. Yeah. I think I'm waiting on a few games as well. Like I said, Watch Dogs. I think that'll be the first one I play on it. I definitely want to play Cyberpunk too. I'm going to be playing that on it as well. So it's exciting, man. I'm glad we finally got news. Really.
Yes.
Right.
So yes, something tangible that we can actually act upon and plan for. Yeah.
Yes.
It's cool. It's very cool to know things.
I know.
Right. Like I don't know why it was so hard just to be like, here you go. Stupid Microsoft and Sony, like, you do it first. No, you do it first. I'm glad they did it.
Yeah. Also, hopefully, if someone's listening at Sony and Microsoft, guys, we know you leak stuff. So don't pretend like there was a leak that forced you to have all this stuff ready. I've never seen a company have a leak and then have advertising material ready within the same day that the leak happened. So you guys can stop pretending that you're leaking stuff. You're not. You're purposely leaking it to gauge reaction, and then you proceed from there, which means you guys maybe should have leaked that Halo Infinite gameplay way before you showed it, so that way you'd know that people thought it were crap and you could work a little bit more in tandem to make sure things were right. So
right. because knowing information we're not supposed to know is just so much more thrilling, I
It
guess.
feels so cool.
Yeah, like, oh, I know the secrets.
Right. Except with this, it so obviously wasn't.
Right. So don't put the advertising right after it comes out the same day, like you said. Maybe wait another day. Or do it earlier.
One day.
Something. Like,
Or just don't do it. Either just don't do
Or
it and
that,
just
or
release the
that.
information formally, or if you want to act and put up these dramatics, then wait a week or two. Be like, oh man, we really didn't see this coming. We really have to try to figure out stuff like that. But the idea that there were for the past few days, hey, we're seeing Series S on a controller, and we're seeing this here and that here there, and it's leaking, and oh my God, somebody leaked this perfect composite image of the console and the price and of the rumored price of the Series X, and it was all accurate, and they were able to, all right, guys, you know what? You caught us. This is the information. We have all of it ready for you right now. Like that's not how leaks work. That's not how it goes. So very bad job pretending it was a leak, Microsoft. Just give us the information next time.
True.
I agree with that. All right, so with every level, we do a final thought, because I think we're done here. Who wants to start with the final thoughts? Okay. Well, okay, I'll go.
All right.
So, as you guys know, and probably the listeners as well, I'm pretty stern on the number of consoles the system's been put through and stuff like that, and how I did not like this Series S and Series X thing. But you guys did convince me that it is kind of a good idea, because for the families, they don't need all the big power. They might not need the disc space. They might not need the 4K. So to make it cheaper and available, I can see the benefits of it. So I can accept it being a good idea, but I still don't like it.
He's coming around. He's coming around, baby. Yeah, I'll go next. My final thoughts are pretty simple. I know, we're doing the podcast. We talk a lot of negativity about consoles and marketing and what they're doing and delays. And I love video games. You guys love video games. When I hear stuff like that, I just get excited. I just want to play the newest, the best. I'm excited this console's coming out. Maybe I'll get it day one, maybe I won't, but I'm happy it's happening. I'm happy there's finally a release date and a price, so I can beg my wife to be like, hey, I know I'm getting the PlayStation, but I also need the Xbox. So
there you go. My final thought is, David, you might want to reconsider your final thought, because these are just the two different versions of the base. You're not considering the different versions they will have of each version.
Oh, no, I'll hate it.
There's going to be more than one version of the Series X and more than one version of the Series S.
I'm going to be mad when it's announced.
And it's going to confuse everyone even more.
Yep.
I don't think it was unintentional that the all access is 24 months, because that would be a great time for them to announce the bigger and better one, where you're then paying another $35 a month for 2 years.
Yep. Like I said, I understand the sentiment of the smaller, not as good console, but I'm not with it. I understand it. But I guess also to add to my final thought, now that I'm back to it, I don't run a gaming company, so obviously they're doing something right, and I might not do that, but it's on them. So, I mean, they're doing something right, even if I don't agree with it.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Alrighty. Well, that's going to end this bonus level of Thoughts and Players. Make sure to check us on the popular socialization sites, such as Facebook, /Thoughts and Players, one word, or the Instagrams, thoughts.players. And I think that's it, right?
Check us out on YouTube.
Oh, crap. We are on the YouTubes.
We are on the YouTubes.
With a clickbait title right here.
Ooh, yeah, it's going to get you guys. Click it a lot. Share it a lot more. All right. Appreciate everyone that listens. Appreciate everyone that participates. That really excites me, actually. I love reading your guys' comments. And we will see you all on the next level.